active part of Nigerian life. Tribal chiefs will continue to exist alongside the new vote-getting politicians. But chieftaincy is slowly giving way to changing times. The Timmy a patron of the arts, of tribal music and dance, is native king over 60,000 Yorubas. These people have an affection for their ancient traditions, but no illusions about them. They possess that wonderful saving grace, the ability to laugh at themselves.
What does that word Timmy literally mean?
Well, Timmy originally was a nickname of the person who now bears the title. Timmy means a man with a big, mighty quiver holder.
A quiver
holder pouch.
That held arrows?
Yes, yes.
Do you enter into active politics, such as the present campaign?
Well, you know, I have my own political adherence, and I do a campaign, not openly, but privately among my own people, tell them which government will help them better.
Do they use the drums at all in the political campaign?
Oh, they do.
So do they say anything on the drums about their own candidate or about the...
Well, they sing in praise of their own party and the candidate.
Anything about the opposing candidate?
Oh, at times they do.
What do they say? What do they say?
Well, they sing their songs to let the people know that their own party is better than the other one.
I'd like to have you demonstrate, if you could, something on those drums for us. Could we get a drummer over here?
Yes. Uncle? Now,
Now, what sort of a message could you give him? Some simple instruction?
You can give him instructions to bring something.
Could you give him a message, for example, suppose you wanted to give a greeting to President Eisenhower. Could he repeat that name, Eisenhower, on the drum?
Yes. Eisenhower. When you get to America, give a greeting to Eisenhower.
All across the country, voting was orderly. A few incidents here and there, but none of the violence predicted by many people. In the north, only the men voted in open polling stations erected for that occasion. The women stayed home. They do not vote. In the southern regions, the women went to the polls in all their numbers. They took hold of their franchise the way they control their marketplaces. A special day for them, a day in which they were able to exercise their power in an area never open to them before. Everywhere, patient lines of voters waiting to cast their ballots. Official party agents scrutinized credentials. Registration lists were carefully checked. Each voter proudly bore an ink-stained finger, proof that he had cast his ballot, and a precaution to prevent his doing it again. The inspection tour by the Governor General in Lagos on election morning was purely ceremonial. He visited several polling stations, a round of handshakes with the local officials. It was mostly for the various photographers. The children, most of all, appreciated this last fading image of their once powerful colonial master. Sir James Robertson is the Governor General of Nigeria. He will be the last Governor General to exercise real substantive power here for the British Crown.
There is here a potential. The people are very vital. They're go-ahead. They're not lazy. They don't sleep in the sun. You've only to walk through the streets of Lagos to see them all going somewhere and all busy. The demand for education is intense. People stow away on ships in order to get to England, and they go there and they educate themselves. And they're very sort of go-getting people. And I think that when people are like that, they probably will get somewhere.
But in Nigeria, even before the reins of government are grasped by African hands, the growing pains of nationalism have begun. Realization comes quickly. The need to solve a multitude of problems that responsibility brings. The need for the Europeans' help. The need for rapid development through the aid of Big Brother, but not Fairy Godfather. Nigeria has a better than even chance of maintaining its popular democracy through the checks of its regional government, the balances of its multi-tribal peoples. Through its rich natural resources, not only in agricultural production, but in mineral wealth and industrial potential. With coal mining already in progress and an oil industry in the making. Through its passion for education and learning among all levels of its people, adults as well as the young. Through the dedication of its bright young men to the public service and the sheer determination among them to make their country work. The The eastern region, about 8 million people dominated by the Ibu tribe, more prosperous than the north, slightly less than the west, the most crowded region of Nigeria. The Ibus are a bit behind the west in modern education since the missionaries didn't get in there quite so early. They are quick, energetic people, handsome, more democratic in manner and taste than the others, less concerned with tribalism. They too were once decimated, drained of their best blood by the centuries of slaving. In Ibu land, a political rally is a parade, a county fair, and a dance festival, sometimes all at once. A crowd stirred by their passion for Zeke is chanting, "Awolowo will be weeping when Ezekwe has won." Another characteristic of an Igbo gathering is that everybody seems to be in charge. They are equalitarian to the point of cheerful anarchy. Ezekwe, the American-educated firebrand statesman, still idolized by millions of Nigerians as their Thomas Jefferson of independence. The biggest political rally we saw in Nigeria was at Onitsha on a Sunday afternoon. 30,000 to 40,000 people jammed rib to elbow. Like all Igbo rallies, a combination talk fest, county fair dance, and music jamboree.
I beg of you to think very seriously before casting your vote for the political party which will rule an independent Nigeria. I am sure I am speaking out your minds when I say that we are not trying to substitute British rule for black imperialism. The British have put us through a tutelage of liberal democracy. We have learned to respect the dignity of the individual. We have learned to live under the rule of law. We have learned to fight for the freedom of the individual. Would you like to substitute this so that a number of opportunist black imperialists will rule you and oppress you? I therefore ask you to vote for the NCNC. Support the NCNC candidate. It so happens that I'm one of the NCNC candidates.
If the chief executiveship of Nigeria were a reward for past performance, Dr. Ezekwe would have it. He spent 25 years trying to free not only Nigeria, but all of black Africa. He's 55 years old, but looks and moves like an ex-fullback just turning a hard muscle 40. We found him at Onitsha, his hometown and his own constituency. He had driven all night from the coast. Dr. Ezekwe, if your party wins, what's its program? What does it want to do for Nigeria?
First, to preserve its unity, so that no Nigerian, whether from the east or from the west or from the north, will feel that is different. We want to crystallize common nationality based on an identity of interest. That is our first objective, to keep the nation together, hold it together, just as the Americans did. And as a matter of fact, we're having the same experience as the Americans had. We have our Hamiltonians, those who, like Alexander Hamilton, felt that the federal nature of the country must be preserved.
Sir, did your own personal experiences as a student in the United States, suffering the usual kind of discrimination against Negroes there, did this have anything to do with inspiring your lifelong struggle for African freedom?
When I went to America, I saw the American Negroes. Well, maybe their own condition was worse. But what impressed me most was the way the American Negroes adapted themselves to the American way of life. So I said, well, if the American Negroes can conquer the environment and force the hands of the powers that be to respect them as individuals, why shouldn't I do the same thing? I said,